Hello students, I am Professor Navneet Kaur from EC Department, SIRT College, Bhopal. Today I will be taking lecture on subject digital communication. The topic of the lecture is digital modulation techniques. In this lecture, I'll be discussing the significance of digital transmission techniques. I'll be discussing the different digital modulation techniques like amplitude shift keying and binary phase shift keying technique in detail. Now, first, we will see what is digital modulation. In baseband pulse transmission, the input data is represented in the form of discrete pulse amplitude modulated signal. The digital data is transmitted over the channel directly. There is no carrier or any modulation. This baseband signal have an adequately large power at low frequencies. So they can be transmitted over a pair of wires or coaxial cables. But it is not possible to transmit the baseband signals over radio links or satellites because in that case, large antennas would be required to be used. Hence, the spectrum of the message signal has to be shifted to higher frequencies. Thus, passband data transmission is used in which digital data modulates high frequency sinusoidal carrier. These signals are transmitted over a bandpass channel. This is called digital carrier modulation or digital passband communication. Now here we can see the basic block diagram of passband transmission. First, we have a message source which will transmit the analog message, which is given to the analog to digital converter. Here, the encoder converts the analog message signal into the form of bits 1 and 0. Then, high frequency carrier is modulated by the message signal using the modulator. Then the message is communicated over the channel, and at the receiver end, we have a detector which demodulates the carrier, and we will get the message signal in the form of ones and zeros. Then the signal is given to the signal detector, which will regenerate the analog message, which will be given to the destination. We have basically two types of digital modulation techniques. First is coherent technique and second is non-coherent techniques. In coherent technique, the local oscillator generated at the receiver is phase locked with the carrier at the transmitter. Thus, here the detection is done by using the locally generated carrier. It uses synchronous detection. Then we have non-coherent technique. It is the technique in which the detection process does not need receiver carrier to be phase locked with the transmitted carrier. Here the system becomes simple. But the disadvantage of non-coherent technique that error probability increases and thus the performance becomes inferior. Now, when we will be discussing the various digital modulation techniques, we will see that we can use digital modulation schemes for binary transmission as well as for MRE signal transmission. In binary scheme, we send any one of the two possible signals during each signaling interval of duration TB. That is, here our message is composed of only one bit, either 1 or 0. The examples of binary schemes is amplitude shift keying, frequency shift keying, and phase shift keying. Whereas in MRE systems, we can send any one of the M possible signals. Here, our signal is composed of more than 1 bits. Example of MRE schemes is MRE PSK, MRE FSK, QPSK, QASK, and many more. MRE schemes needs less bandwidth as compared to the binary schemes, but the error performance of MRE scheme is poor as compared to the binary schemes. Now, there are three basic signaling schemes used in passband data transmission. First is amplitude shift keying, second is phase shift keying, and the last one is frequency shift keying. Now, first in this lecture, we will discuss amplitude shift keying in brief. Amplitude shift keying (ASK) is a form of digital bandpass modulation technique in which the amplitude of the analog sinusoidal carrier signal is varied to represent the input binary data. The frequency and phase of the carrier signal remains unchanged. The binary signal, when ASK modulated, gives zero value for low input, while it gives the carrier output for high input. Here we can see in this waveform that we have message signal which is given by high level and lower level in case of bit 1 and 0 respectively. This is the carrier signal, which is a high frequency sinusoid of frequency FC. And then we have ASK modulated signal. Now we can see when our binary data sequence is 1, the ASK modulated signal is represented by the carrier signal. Whereas when the binary data sequence is 0, the ASK modulated signal is 0. So, to represent the amplitude shift keying signal in the form of expression, we will consider the carrier signal, which is given by a sinusoid and represented by sine 2 pi fct, where fc is the frequency of the carrier. The ASK modulated signal is represented by the expression VMT sine 2 pi fct, where VMT is the binary message signal or modulating signal. Now, when the message signal is high or it is represented by binary 1, in that case, ASK signal is represented by sine 2 pi fct, which is the carrier signal. Whereas when the message signal is represented by binary 0, the ASK modulated signal is represented by no signal, that is given by 0. The drawback of amplitude shift keying is its sensitivity to noise. It is used at very low bit rates, so it is not suitable for wireless communication. So we will switch over to the next phase shift keying, which is also called binary phase shift keying. Phase shift keying is a form of digital modulation technique in which the phase angle of the analog sinusoidal carrier signal is varied to represent the input digital data. Here, the amplitude and frequency of the modulated signal remains constant. In binary PSK, the phase of the sinusoidal carrier signal is changed by 0 degrees or 180 degrees, corresponding to two different voltage levels of message signal 1 and 0. So here we can see in waveform that we have a binary sequence, which is a message signal in the form of bits 1 and 0, where 1 is represented by positive voltage level and 0 is represented by low level. The binary sequence is converted into non-return to 0 signal BT, where 1 is represented by positive voltage level and 0 is represented by negative voltage level. Now we can see the modulated signal, which is BPSK signal. When there is a change of message signal from 1 to 0, we can see that there is a phase shift of 180 degree of the carrier signal. So again, we can see when there is a transition from 0 to 1, again there is a phase shift of 180 degree. Here we can see again there is a phase shift of 180 degree because there is a transition of message signal from 1 to 0. Now, to express the binary phase shifting signal in the form of an expression, first we will consider the carrier signal, which is given by A cos 2 pi f naught t, where A is the maximum amplitude of the carrier signal and f naught is the frequency of the carrier signal. Now, for a carrier signal, the power of the sinusoid carrier signal is given by A square by 2. So A is given by root 2p. So we can substitute here A by root 2p. Now, as discussed earlier, when there is a change of the message signal, there will be a phase shift of 180 degree in the carrier signal. So for symbol 1, that is when the message signal is represented by binary 1, in that case, the modulated signal is represented by the carrier signal root 2p cos 2 pi f naught t. But if the message signal is represented by binary 0, in that case, there is a phase shift of 180 degree in the carrier signal. So we can write the modulated signal as root 2p cos 2 pi f naught t plus pi. Now we know cos theta plus pi is equal to minus cos theta. So S2t is given as minus root 2p cos 2 pi f naught t. Now, in general form, the BPSK signal can be represented by ST is equal to BT root 2P cos 2 pi F naught T. So, when BT is plus 1, ST is represented by root 2P cos 2 pi F naught T. Whereas when BT is minus 1, then ST is given by root 2P cos minus root 2P cos 2 pi F naught T, which reflects the phase change of 180 degree in the carrier signal. Now, first we will discuss the generation of BPSK signal. In the generation of BPSK signal, the binary data signal, which is in the form of zeros and ones, is converted into a NRZ bipolar signal by using NRZ encoder. The waveform BT and carrier, which is cos omega naught t, is applied to a balance modulator. Now, this balance modulator will generate the BPSK signal. Now, coming to the BPSK receiver, here the signal undergoes a phase change theta depending on the time delay, which depends on the length of the path from transmitter to the receiver. So here we can see the message, the modulated signal which is received at the receiver end is given by BT root 2p cos 2 pi f naught t plus theta, where theta is the phase shift undergone by the signal when it is transmitted through the channel. Here, the demodulation technique employed is called synchronous demodulation. First, here we will have carrier recovery circuit in which the synchronous carrier is generated by using the modulated signal. For generating a synchronous carrier signal, the modulated signal is transmitted through a square law device, which will give output cos squared 2 pi f naught t plus theta. Now, cos squared 2 pi f naught t, when it is represented by using trigonometric expression, it is given by cos square theta 1 plus cos 2 theta divided by 2. So we can write cos square 2 pi f naught 2 t theta plus theta as 1 plus cos 2 pi f naught t plus theta divided by 2. So when it will be separated half plus half, cos 2 pi f naught t plus theta. So here the signal is composed of two parts. One is the DC part and another is the carrier part, which is centered at frequency 2 omega c. The DC component is removed by using a bandpass filter whose pass band is centered around 2fc. So the output of the bandpass filter will give the second part of the signal, which is half cos 2 pi f naught t plus theta. So here we can see the output of the bandpass filter is represented by cos 2 pi f naught t plus theta. Then we have used a frequency divider, which is composed of flip-flop and narrow band filter tuned to frequency fc. It is used to regenerate the waveform cos 2 pi f naught t plus theta. Then we have used synchronous demodulator, in which the incoming BPSK signal is multiplied with the synchronous carrier signal. So the output of the synchronous demodulator will be BT root 2p cos square 2 pi f naught t plus theta. Now, for regenerating the message signal, we have used integrator and dump receiver. Now, in integrator and dump receiver, at the beginning of the switch, at the beginning of the bit, the switch S1 is closed very briefly to discharge the integrator capacitor. This resets the integrator voltage to 0. The integrator then integrates next bit, then leaves the switch S1 open during the entire course of ensuring bit interval. Closing switch S1 again very briefly at the end of next bit time. So it is called integrator and dump circuit. The output signal of interest to us is the integrator output at the end of the bit interval. But immediately before the closing of switch S1, this output signal is made available by switch S2, which samples the output voltage just prior to dump the capacitor. This switch connects the output of an integrator to the decision device. Assume that the bit interval TB is equal to the duration of an integral number n of cycles of carrier frequency Fc. The output voltage at the end of a bit interval extended from time k minus 1 TB to k TB is given by the expression S naught KTB BKTB root P by 2 integration of the signal between the interval k minus 1 TB to KTB, which constitutes one bit interval TB. Now, by solving this expression, we will get BKTB root P by 2. We have separated the two integrals. So, integral of first part plus integral of second part. Now, integral of sinusoid over whole number of cycles has value 0. So, the second integral will give the value 0. So, we will get the output voltage S naught KTB is BKTB root P by 2 integration of 1 between K minus 1 TB to KTB. Now, by solving the integration, we will get BKTB root P by 2 TB. Here P is the power of the carrier signal, which is having a constant value. TB is the bit interval, which is again having the constant value. So here we can see that the output of the receiver S naught KTB, it depends on the input BKTB. When input message signal BT is 1, S naught will have positive value. Whereas when BT is negative value, then output voltage will have negative value. So depending upon the value of BKTB, the output S naught KTB is generated in the receiver. This signal is then applied to the decision device, which decides whether the transmitted symbol was 0 or 1. In this case, we will again regenerate our message signal in the form of 1 and 0. Now, this is all for today's lecture. Thank you.